calling Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCAST, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash. Straight to the face, I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Welcome to Wrasslin with them Wrasslin boys. I'm El Potito alongside my tag team partner Big E, and we're here to bring you a special Cinco de Mayo episode of premium wrestling content. What's going on, brother?
Moment of silence for the best looking man on the face of this earth.
What's going on, brother? Well, since we got the POT's got the night off, and we got El Potito in the building, and I don't know how this man got the night off, but anyway, we here, man. Welcome back to Welcome to Wrasslin, episode 72, and I only got two names.
All right, I'll let you have those.
William the Refrigerator. And if you played any kind of D-line back in the day, that was your guy.
Absolutely.
I love the fridge. Especially and he was in the Battle Royal. Go ahead and tell me what WrestleMania it was.
WrestleMania 2.
But yeah, man, shout out to the fridge, man. I remember seeing him, the greatest thing ever was seeing him score them touchdowns and playing running back on goal line and stuff. I thought that stuff was so cool, but yeah, man, shout out to William the Refrigerator Perry. Into the second best 72, we're going to shout out freshman Big E.
Hey.
For the Marietta Blue Devils.
Hey, that guy there. That guy's a legend. The freshman Big E's a legend.
But
that guy, that's my guy.
Yeah, good dude, man. Real good, solid dude there. But,
I'll say.
Hey, but real quick, before we get into some wrestling, let's take care of a little Marietta business and have a moment of silence, man. R.I.P. to the little one, man. R.I.P. Little Ricky. Yeah, man. Rest up, black boy. Hey, man. Welcome to Wrasslin, man. Episode 72, man. Let's get back to these releases, dog, because that seems to be the topic these days, the last couple of weeks, and we got some new ones. We kind of called it last week when we went over that. Remember, we went over that second list I found doing a little research, and Tungaloa and Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, both were released. One thing about those guys, more so Jeff Cobb, New Japan are probably welcome them back. You know what I mean? Of course, we don't know, but just assuming. And, Coach Gatewood loves when you assume. But, yeah, man, let's talk about, we not to be disrespectful, but, we did call them background dancers last week. And that's kind of been what they were. They're not really saying nothing. Pretty much just part of the MFT. So those two guys are gone. What'd you think about that? I mean, we pretty much talked about it last week, but just wanted, now that it's official, want to get your status.
Yeah, like you said, we when we heard that they was on that list that you found, that you was able to get a hold of. Definitely wasn't surprised. Again, no disrespect to those two gentlemen. Hopefully they land on their feet somewhere. But like you said, they wasn't really using them. I mean, they was run-ins and stuff, but they wasn't, like you said, I don't even know what JC Mateo sound like.
Right.
So I mean, the MFTs, what was 5 of them?
Yeah.
Now it's 3, and
Right.
I'm glad. Again, I hate anybody have to get cut. I mean, that's nature's business. But I'm glad the 2 that they kept. I'm glad they kept Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga.
Tonga. Yeah.
So,
I'm a Tama Tonga guy. And to tell you the truth, like when they were the God, the Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan, like, Tama's different. You know what I'm saying? Tama Tonga's a different dude, but he can work, man. And he really can work. And now that he done buffed up a little bit too, but he was always cut up and put together. But him and Tongaloa, which is his actual brother, and Tala Tonga is their other brother. So it's got to feel weird, what I'm saying, for your brother to get released and y'all are still there. And you know what I'm saying? It's like some Owen Hart, Bret Hart type stuff, some Jeff Hardy situation. You know what I mean? At one point in time. So I did, that was just one of the things I really thought about is like, could you imagine like if we were in the WWE and we're brothers, but we ain't blood brothers, but you get released, and I'm still a top guy. I'd feel some kind.
I like what you did there. I'm still a top guy. I heard that. Like, buddy, you can't do that on television in Nickelodeon. Barf. I heard that. And you could get slimed because you said that.
We'll be like Kevin Nash, right back at you, HBK. You know what I'm saying? Sending messages. But so very surprised, and they were on the list as well, was the New Day. But they weren't released. They actually signed new deals from what I read, and then were asked to take a pay cut. And we'll get into the pay cuts in a minute because I came across some other information. But me being the broadcast journalist that I am,
what a McAfee them say, Soar says.
But
according to my Soar says.
Yeah. So they were asked to take a pay cut and rework the deals, and they just weren't with it. So and they're gone from the company. I mean, when did Kofi come in? About 08, 09?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was back in the day, though.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going on 20 years with the company. And Xavier Woods, he had that little stint TNA, but not a little stint. Like he did a couple of things, but when he got to the WWE, he's been here ever since. And the New Day made waves. So let's not one of the longest ever.
Plus, I know the tag team division been a mixed bag, especially the past 20 years or so. However, there was 2 constant teams.
Yeah, the Usos
and New Day. And New Day actually, don't they got the record for the most tag title reigns in WWE?
I think it's like 12.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, don't bet the farm on that, but I'm pretty sure it's like 11 or 12. I want to say 12.
Yeah. So
so I tell you though, what is kind of exciting though, if you think about it, of course they're not going to be able to use the New Day name and Kofi Kingston, and they'll have to change their names and stuff. But I mean, are we going to get to see the New Day versus the Young Bucks, or the New Day versus the Hardys? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to go to the indie route? Because they can. I mean, it's money to be made out there, and fans will flock to see them because it's the first time that you ever seen Kofi on the indies. You know what I'm saying? Xavier started out on the Indies, and so out here in Atlanta, Georgia, to be exact.
You know, I'll say something that was interesting. MJF put a tweet out basically saying it's a new day coming. You know, like so he was obviously
Yeah,
referring to the new day. So
yeah,
I thought that was cool that like MJF felt he
yeah,
had to acknowledge that.
yeah.
You
Showing a
know,
little love. That's
yeah,
big. You
yeah.
know, and they could really be a asset to any company. You know, so that'll be cool, man. Be cool to get to see them and maybe go against Edge and Edge and Christian or Adam Copeland and Christian or whatever. But it's a lot of dream like little dream matches out there for them,
Then they can renew their rivalry with the Hurt Syndicate.
right? And you got FTR, you know.
Right.
Yeah, man. So it's some stuff to be done now. So I'm sure they got the no compete 90-day no compete. You know, give them a little time to go with the Unk in the background trying to bend down, not be seen.
You saw.
Yeah. But that's love though that he even tried to duck down though. You know what I'm saying?
He
We had
didn't
to
make
give,
an appearance.
hey, we had to give him a special guest credit.
Yeah, he did appear again. Come on here, talk Hawks basketball.
Right. Ain't nobody
Right.
want basketball right now. He'll talk everything but game 6. Coming here. Hawks and 9, baby. Hawks and 9. But what a nasty score that was just. I told you we was at the baseball game, and every time we would come in from the inning, I told Evan, my son Evan Jr., I was like, dog, I said, look at the score. It's 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and it's 60-20, 62-20. You know what I'm saying? And he thought it was a joke. That's not real. The hell if it ain't.
I thought it was a joke, and I was watching it happen. Like I was watching the game, I thought I was dreaming. Like, hey, this, slapping my head. Hey, drink some coffee. Something going on,
Right. All right. Hey man, let's talk a little HBK for a minute and the new documentary that came out on Peacock. Tell me what you thought about that.
Well, I love HBK.
Mm.
And what I loved about the documentary is they wasn't afraid to talk about his transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how they got the whole NXT experience, how he's a teacher now. Because he's arguably the greatest in-ring performer
Of
ever.
all time.
And it ain't just me saying it. Sports Illustrated said it.
Right.
The Bleacher Report said, the whole Becky Lynch thing.
Yeah.
But really though, all the other Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Triple H, whoever you name it, they all say it. But they also said that he was a jackass pre-back injury.
Right.
And I like how the documentary captured all of that. Like, they wasn't afraid. They didn't shy away from it. They didn't just hit the high notes and just like, okay, and kind of glossed over it. No.
Mm. Yeah, they
hit, that they talked about the whole genetic thing because HBK said he always want to be a singles wrestler, which, that would make sense. Who wants to be a tag team? I mean, I'm not saying nobody's not happy with being a tag team. Really,
right.
though.
But
I'm pretty sure.
Growing up, that's not the dream.
Yeah,
boyhood dreams come true. He's a tag team champion.
Yeah. I'm sure that wasn't, the ultimate goal. So,
right.
But of course, you got to do what you got to do to get over and to get on and to go places that you need to go to get to where you're trying to go.
Right.
And
Say
but so I don't know if I can say it again. I'm
You got to go where you go. You got to get there where you can go so you can get there.
Yeah, so you get there. So, with that being said, then of course they did the whole talked about the breakup, the Beefcake Barbershop, and
Yeah,
which in my opinion, I mean, there's been a lot of great heel turns, but just as far as a tag team, somebody turning on somebody, that to me is probably my favorite
yeah.
heel turn. As far as a
And
tag team splitting up,
right. And to think about the violent part of the violent nature of the breakup in the era that it was in, they weren't showing stuff like that.
right?
He doesn't need Janetti.
Bobby the Brain,
Shout out again to Bobby the Brain Heenan. R.I.P. Bobby the Brain. But yeah,
one of the goats.
yeah. I tell you what, it really made me think about. It gave me a little Last Dance feel.
Mm-hmm.
How they kept going from 96 back to 2025, 97 back to 2025. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They kept transitioning like they did with Jordan, 84 back to 98, 85, 86 back to 98. So it gave me that kind of Last Dance feel. But I thought it was so good, man. And just, you got Undertaker on there, and this is no secret if you watch this stuff. Like, they didn't mess with that dude, man. And he said point blank he wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. And then of course your boy Bret Hart was in there, and basically, it was like he was an asshole. You know what I mean? So, but Bret
Well,
Hart
Brett
surprisingly said some positive things about him,
sure
and
did.
and I think it's kind of hard not to. And bro, the way Trick Williams and Javon Evans were talking to him, and it showed Javon being called up, and HBK telling him, "Hey man, the number never changes. Meaning like my number is always going to be the same. Call me if you need anything."
Yeah,
I mean,
even Ethan Page was on there a lot too. Just talking about how that man, or even Sean Spears. Of course, he used to be Ty Dillinger.
mhm.
10, 10.
Right.
You talk about how him and Eric Young had they were working on a match and they couldn't get the finish. Took them a couple of weeks to figure out the finish,
And it
and
took
they
him
talked.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
You know, I just thought it was so good, man. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time, especially wrestling documentaries. And again, it you got to see his kids all grown up. They both work for the company. Um, Dude, his son just towers over him.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like his son had,
Cameron.
yeah, he got to be 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's a
All
big
right,
dude, but Whisper wasn't no little woman.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that, of course, that's his wife, and that was her name when she was a Nitro girl. But I just love how his stories never change.
Right.
You know, about the knee thing, they weren't going to Dr. Andrews back then. You know, if you had an ACL, you knew you were being out for a year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He said that before. Like, it's not, there's a lot of this stuff never changes. He's so upfront and honest about the way he acted and takes full responsibility.
Right.
And, you know, and they have slip ups, and dude's a competitive. Imagine you being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. You know what I mean? And trying to stay at that way. You're going to have some hiccups and run into a few things with people, but, all the stories you hear about all the people he's apologized to, and just the way he would, during the NXT, after the NXT shows, he would go outside go out there and shake hands with all the ring crew and the cameramen and telling everybody, thank you. And just, dude looks like he's having a ball, man, down there and really killing it, man. And you just got to love that stuff.
Something I just thought about, like at this very moment, it kind of remind me of, and I'm not comparing the two, but it kind of remind me of, okay, HBK was HBK. I always say the before and after the back injury, right?
Mm,
What he was
right.
out like 4.5 years, but it
Almost
was
5 years. Yeah.
so it was told it was night and day according to everybody how he was beforehand and how he was afterwards. I compare that to CM Punk now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the wrestling, not the story, but
And
and I'm
not
not
even
saying
the religion part. It's just the
it
maturity.
just right. You hear a lot of because Punk ruffled a lot of feathers, especially back
Yeah.
then. And but when he came back, it was like at least when he came back to WWE. We ain't talking about what happened to AEW. Talking about
Right.
when he came back to WWE, it was like he had a different seemed like he had a different attitude. It seemed like he was having fun again and it was like he was taking it in. Like he was really taking in being back with the company and I
Yeah.
guess realizing like, damn, I don't have much time left.
Right. And
You know
and
that.
when you're in your prime and you quit something, it might not bother you as much as when you get, on that upper end of your age where, you're on the back nine.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And there's not much time left to do certain things that I could do.
right.
And, probably just taking every opportunity you can. And, you got to respect all respect for anybody that can change their life and mature and right their wrongs.
Absolutely.
There's you gotta there's is nothing but respect for people that can do that. You know what I mean? Um, just one more thing about the documentary, man. Just I just man, I can't wait to watch it again and
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
a few things that I probably missed while I was, because watching it doing something late night, and it was just so good, man. And shout out to HBK, man. One, arguably, and it's a couple other people that got an argument, not too many, but I love the fact, when they were talking about the match at SummerSlam when he came back in 2002, and a couple minutes into it, and Triple H is like, "Dude, you're fine. Let's go. Let's get after it." You know what I mean? And didn't miss a beat, and can outwork almost anybody on that roster, and hadn't been in the ring in years. It's something to be said about that.
Right.
Yeah. So, man, shout out to HBK, man. I loved it. I love the NXT stuff. I loved seeing the older stuff and the things they talked about, but the NXT stuff was so cool, and just to see his interactions with everybody, and man, the whole documentary deserves a standing ovation. But yeah, man. But let's get to talking about what we're here to talk about, and that's Backlash. What you got there, bro?
We gotta go back to the releases.
Okay.
Kyrie Sane,
Yeah.
her
Oh,
information on her. So my understanding, allegedly, they said that it wasn't so much that WWE released her.
mm-hmm.
They said she wanted to go back to Japan. That's alleged. Allegedly, she wanted to go. It was her that
Yeah.
wanted out, which that
Okay.
changed the whole dynamic of what we was talking about. Because we like, why would they release her when
When she's
they
involved, this and this, yeah,
involved? Yeah, like
yeah,
and they was at the tip of the iceberg of capitalizing on that story. So we was like, hey, what the hell are they doing? So but now it kind of changes things and again, we don't know what's true, what is true and what's not true. But allegedly she wanted to go back to Japan, which when she got released the first time, that's what happened. It wasn't that they fired her. She wanted to go back to Japan. So maybe the same thing happened. Maybe it was like, okay, I've been over here long enough. I'm homesick again. I want to go back to see my family and friends. I mean, I don't know, but it makes
yeah,
sense. Why? Because why would they? Not saying they wouldn't do it, but they did. But it's
yeah,
like, but it kind of makes a little more sense hearing that information. I just thought we should point that out.
yeah. And let's stick there for a second. I did read today that it's going to be some more coming because the New Day is not the only group or superstar that were asked to restructure their deals.
I heard that as well.
So, and they're talking about as much as a 50% pay cut.
50%. But they
So,
didn't name any names though, or at least the source says
right.
that I go to. They their list. They said they didn't have no names, but they said there was actually a couple superstars that agreed to the pay cut, and like you said,
Yeah.
it was up to about 50% pay cut. That is
Yeah.
a lot, bro.
Mhm. Right. Because you got to think about it. If you're making seven figures, and we're not talking about 9 million a year or nothing like that, but if you're making $1 million a year, hey, we need you to go down to 500,000. Because let's just put it in perspective. Say you get $1 million deal a year, so you're gonna bring home about 750 after taxes.
Right. Yeah, it might be 650.
Right. But if you
But you're
take,
right though.
so you put that pay cut in perspective, then you down to maybe 300,000-400,000 after taxes.
Yeah, so that's about half of what well, of course it'd be half because 50. But yeah, you're right though. Like
Yeah.
that's a
But
big difference.
right, because a 50% pay cut, oh, well, they're getting 500,000. No, still got to pay taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just think about, these guys are wrestlers. So imagine the guys that do have insurance and stuff like that. Imagine how much that costs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation. But a 50% pay cut is major no matter how much money you make.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they said a couple of people agreed they didn't have enough names. They didn't have no names to say, but saying there's more coming and more people are going to be asked to do that. So, and it makes me wonder, like, what is TKO really trying to do? So you raised all these prices, you didn't sell out WrestleMania either night, and now you're going after the talent. You know what I'm saying? Because you're making us pay extra money, and now you're making them give money back. Like,
So what's really going on?
The fans and the employees are losing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, what's really going on?
And they making money hand over fist with the deals with ESPN and Netflix.
Right.
So where's the paper trail? Like where they lose? So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But you can tell TKO is not, and of course, I don't think it's ever been. It's all business. They're not looking at what people just did, or, man, I just bought a new house. So what? You know what I mean?
That's a you problem.
Right.
Right.
And dare to say that it wasn't. And a matter of fact, I heard a former superstar say online the other day that, yeah, it wasn't like that before TKO. You know what I'm saying? Business is business. You know what I'm saying? Guy just had a brand new baby. You know what I'm saying? Just born and getting released. Like, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Life will bite you in the ass for real. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if there's any more names that come up that don't want to take the new deals. And it could be a thing where instead of releasing these people, they are offering them big, huge cuts to maybe try to get them to quit instead of releasing them and have to pay this, and this. So,
that's a good point too.
Because if you think about it, well, if they take a 50% pay cut, then we can still use them, then fine. But if we can get rid of them, let's get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? But definitely going to sit back and watch and find out. And there's some companies out here, man, that can really, really step up their game and take advantage of situations like this. So it makes me think that there's no going to be no more signing people just to keep them away from a company.
Right.
I think that's over with for right now if this is what they're doing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, because they probably can't justify overpaying for
somebody
Alistair Black.
Right, that they barely.
That they won't. That be sitting and catering just to keep them away from AEW because they don't really see AEW as a threat, especially now. How everything is settled, AEW kind of like found their little niche, and they are what they are. They don't. No, much as Tony Khan probably try to say he competes with WWE, no, you don't. You know, your ratings, and we've been to the shows, we enjoy it, but at the same time, they may get 4,000 to 5,000 people in the arena right now.
Right.
That ain't, they don't even book the big arenas no more,
Right.
So I mean it's what it is, nothing against AEW, but just saying.
I hate to say this, but I like it when it's like that. When you're in a crowd and with about 5,000 people, and
it's more intimate.
Yeah. Of course, they'd rather it be 15 to 20 there. Right. You know what I'm saying? And as they should. But yeah, I like the feeling like that, and it's like going to a heavyweight indie show that's really pulling some. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man. So let's talk Backlash, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk Backlash. Backlash is about what is today? It's Monday. What the hell is Tuesday now?
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Orale. So we're about 5 days away from Backlash. Let's just go down the list and we'll talk about it and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Shout out to all you kids out there. Wrap it up. But best advice you can give a young man at a young age. But
absolutely.
Danhausen and his mystery partner against The Miz and Kip Wilson. First of all, I thought Danhausen coming out there was stupid at first. When they, that was the big mystery. The box was stupid anyway. Because just like a lot of stuff in wrestling, there are ideas used over and over again. We've seen the box plenty of times with, Chainsaw Charlie, and different, it's happened a couple of different times, but it definitely wasn't who I suspected or who I wanted, or that never even crossed my mind.
Right.
But how entertaining has this man been ever since he's been there? I mean, it's almost like it's kind of taking R-Truth's place.
Yeah.
As far as making everybody laugh, and it's totally different. But you see what I'm saying? It's almost like a gimmick. Like he's not really in the ring like that. So but he will be at Backlash, and clearly somebody's getting cursed. I thought, it's just been fun, man. Been real entertaining. When The Miz pulled the referee in front of him and he cursed the referee, and the referee couldn't count to 3 with his right arm. You know what I'm saying? You were telling me one of the New York Knicks tried to get him to uncurse him.
One of the fans paid Danhausen to like literally paid the man to lift the curse.
Right. That's hilarious, dog. In itself. But yeah, man, it's been super entertaining. And of course, you got The Miz that can work with anybody and can, hold anybody down at any level as far as going promo to promo and make it interesting. So, who do you think his guest partner is going to be? Mystery partner.
Well, there's quite a few people on rumored, but I personally think it's going to be Obafemi. Because why not?
Then Danhausen doesn't have to do anything.
Right. But I mean, think about it. There's rumors that it could be CM Punk because they said they are actually good friends
Mhm.
outside of the ring.
I can see that.
Yeah, yeah, they're
I can
good
see that.
friends.
Yeah.
And so people say he could be Punk. Punk ain't been on TV since he can't. He was the Raw after WrestleMania, but he ain't been on past 2 weeks or whatever. And so Punk will work. But then people say R-Truth, which that wouldn't make sense because he's in the tag team with Damian Priest. It'd be hilarious,
Right.
but that just wouldn't make no sense at all. If he wasn't in the tag team and tag team champs, maybe, but I just
That's
don't
different.
see that. Yeah,
That different.
I just think people throwing shit at the wall and see if it stick.
Right.
But I don't know. My thought process. I heard Jelly Roll, and the reason why they said that because apparently they was expecting that it was gonna be a tag match with Jelly Roll. The whole McAfee thing.
Yeah.
It was they said that it was supposed to be Jelly Roll, Cody versus Randy and Pat, but I
Yeah, we
guess
talked about that. Yeah.
yeah. So they were
Yeah.
saying that's why they said it couldn't be Jelly Roll because his actual concert schedule he has this date not booked
Right.
as if he was expecting to do something. So I mean that's possible. I don't know how that would land, but
Yeah.
that's possible. But I think it's gonna be over Femi because why not? And they keep giving him stuff to kind of devour his competition. What
Yeah.
better way? Because this would be more like a handicap match.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, if Obafemi is coming to beat you up, then you are cursed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Roll
and
Tide.
Miz, and Kip Wilson, I think will play a great role in being like that music hit, and he come down there, and
Oh,
they
the
going.
facial
Can you
expression.
imagine? Yeah, can you imagine that?
It's gonna be great TV for that match. It's gonna be very entertaining. You're gonna get your laughs in. So yeah. So clearly, if it is Obafemi, then I don't have to ask who you think is gonna win the match.
Right. Well,
Right.
even if it's not him, I think whoever's gonna be his hell, Evan Jr. could be a tag team partner. They gonna win the match.
Man, he gonna turn on that house, but he will leave him stranded at the worst possible time.
Oh man.
I told you he wouldn't be there.
You said, hey, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, I see.
Evan Jr. should have been a horseman. He for real. I should have been a horseman.
Yeah.
Young age. But yeah, man, I don't know who's gonna we pretty much read the same stuff most of the time, and I read all them names. I'm such a Jelly Roll fan. I just don't. I get worried that he's gonna embarrass himself, and that's what I don't want him to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I also know with this massive weight loss, it's like you feel like you can do anything. You know what I'm saying? And I know if what I'm saying on starting my little weight loss journey, I know if I get down like that, I'm thinking like, man, I'm finna go, to wrestling school. I'm 245. You know what I'm saying? Go to wrestling school 47. You know what I'm saying?
You you gotta also think as far as Jelly Roll being a possibility. It would make sense though. I mean, he had the match with Kit Wilson.
Yeah.
He had the backstage interactions.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if they was to do that.
And everybody, thinks the Miz is a dick, so everybody could have him just cuz. You
And
know what I
plus,
mean?
to your point about Jelly Roll, maybe if they were supposed to have the match with him and McAfee and all of
Yeah.
this, and they end up obviously not going to have that, then I'm sure if that was on the cards, I'm sure he would want to get that match in.
Right.
match,
but
you know.
yeah, because it's clear McAfee ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah.
You know,
Or at least not for the foreseeable future, you know.
right. And like you say, once Jelly started touring, then he, because
Yeah.
he tours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where they make all their money at anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This day and age. But yeah, man. Let's talk Oscar EO Sky. I love EO Sky, but I love Oscar. You know, and Oscar's like a female Muda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard not to like her and not to dig her and her move set. But EO Sky, she wild too. You know what I mean? But I just think that's we really haven't had a one-on-one like that, because you've had what you call it that was with it, like we talked about earlier. They always jumping on them, this, then that, do this, do that. You know, and then Oscar got the best of her last week when she jumped on her. Like, I really think they're gonna go at it like some old Japanese hard style stuff. You know, so I'm actually like, I'm looking forward to that one.
I think they're gonna steal the show.
Yeah, it's a possibility. They can do it. They can do it. I think it's gonna be wild.
You know, from my sources, apparently they said it's like a 50% chance that Kyrie Singh is gonna show up. And a lot of people comparing it to what happened with R-Truth last year.
Yeah.
So, but then it makes you wonder though, like, then if that's the case, then what I said could have been some bullshit,
Yeah.
far as her.
Or they might have restructured something to keep her and offered her some more money.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Or even like, hey, stay 3 more months, or let's carry this out, then you can go, or whatever,
Yeah.
So
give us 3 more months. If you don't like it and you still want to go on, then fine.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't no telling. So, but I mean, if she returns, what if she returns and turns on
EO?
Oscar? Yeah, I mean EO, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it could, because of course we all know in our mind that she's gonna turn on Oscar, right?
Right.
But to your point, what if they do a swerve where we think she's gonna turn on Oscar and she attacks EO instead?
Right.
Like, yeah, we played y'all the whole time. I mean, Kabuki Warriors are stronger than ever.
Right.
And then they get it talking in their language.
Right. Hey, let's go back to the box. The box, Danhausen coming out the box. Worst debut ever, as far as gimmick wise.
Man, that's too easy, dog.
I don't think so, because I know you're gonna say the Shockmaster. Okay? I know you're gonna say the Shockmaster, but they had a whole huge thing in play. You know what I'm saying? This man for the bust through the wall and explosions go off. And the funniest thing about that video is not the Shockmaster going through the wall. It's Sid in the background going, "Oh my God. Oh my God. He did it."
This man tripped over the board and his helmet came off, dog.
Right.
And then he try to put it back on like that, man.
And see, this is my thing. His helmet came off, and then automatically you like, oh shit, this is Tugboat. You know what I'm saying? How am I supposed to take this man serious? It's Tugboat. You know what I mean? He might have had that Where's Waldo outfit on. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, dog. Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The Rock and Roll Express needed a tag team partner because you had the Midnight Express and you had Dr. Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey, Prima Donna Prime Time. And so Rock and Roll needed some backup. And their mystery partner was there, standing right by the ring with a big bed sheet over his head.
Hell no.
Just a sheet. And Cornette goes over there and touches him and pushes on him, and then he rips the sheet off and then falls down because he's so scared because it's the Enforcer, it's Double A.
Double A, yeah, I seen that.
That's the worst to me. That's the worst. How dumb, you know what I'm saying? I know. We'll walk him out there with a sheet over his head. Yeah, that'll work. He couldn't just run out, you know what I'm saying, or something. And then he had on jogging pants and with no shirt, with his
oiled up,
with his wrist taped.
Yeah, when we talk about that shit all the time, you know. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. It was a stupid idea.
Presentation-wise, is the worst ever.
Yeah. I still can't put that past the Shockmaster though.
Yeah, I mean, but they put so much work into it. This was just like, I know that. Hey, let's just throw a bed cover over it. You might do his grandma's quilt over the top of him.
I mean, that was corny.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, Jim Cornette. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Hogan. I mean, Backlash. Hey, these last two are gonna be. This whole card's gonna be fun because last three. Because Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, they're not going to take the belt back from Trick Williams that fast. So they'll do it the Sammy, but they're not going to do it to Trick Williams.
You know, I want to say something about this. I got love for what Trick is doing. I'm glad that the crowd loves him, and of course his entrance music hits hard, and you know, and you know he has a mouthpiece. I don't really like the little Yachty thing. I think that's overkill, but hey, whatever. I think the gingerbread man thing was stupid.
Yeah,
I understand why they call Sammy that because he's a ginger. I mean, I get it, but I think that's stupid though. But I'm hearing people saying, and this don't make no sense to me. They're saying that this is when the double turn is going to occur. It already occurred.
Right.
What are they watching? He clearly a face now. Sammy clearly, even though Sammy trying to act as if he's still a face, you don't understand why the people don't cheer. But he been doing heelish stuff.
Right, the whole time.
Yeah, so it's like, so what do you mean the double turn is going to occur? It already did. Now maybe you get more. Maybe gonna be more clarification. Maybe Sammy gonna go all the way heel where he gonna really do some shit where he ain't gonna care. You know,
if he win the title back.
Yeah,
and then, but which makes sense because then the chase starts for the baby to go for the chase and chase when Sammy cheated for it.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes sense. So it can happen. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they just stamp it this time is what they mean. But the double, it's been happening.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, Trick doing run-ins to save people.
Right.
Heels don't do that.
No.
Unless it's one of their own.
Right.
But that's just my opinion on it.
Okay. Well, as far as the match goes, we got 5 matches. So do we get a little bit longer than we did WrestleMania? Because we're still going to have them long-ass commercials. It's going to be about 6 minutes apiece. 3 minute commercials, 3 minutes of blank screen.
I just think they're going to go back to the formula, you know, where they have longer matches, though. I mean, you're right. They definitely going to go with the commercials. But I just don't think they're going to be doing 8-minute matches and there's only 5 matches.
Right. Because if you give Trick and Sammy what 15?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but I feel like they at least gonna get 10 to 12.
Right, right.
Because even at WrestleMania, what they got like 7 or 8.
Yeah. So they got to give them a little bit more. Get a little bit
Yeah,
more. You can do a lot in wrestling. You can do a lot in 4 minutes.
and you got to think Sami Zayn is one of the best workers.
You can make an impact in 4 minutes, dog.
And I think Trick can learn from working with Sammy.
Right.
Because if that could be the problem where they don't think Trick is ready to have matches that long.
Mm.
I mean, he did it before, but maybe that could be a thing too. But they're like, well, we still think he need to work on his craft, and it's like he learned on the job type thing, because he already got the crowd charisma, mouthpiece. Okay, he's decent in the ring, but he can always get better. Well, he's working with one of the best. So
Right.
if anybody could pull 12 to 15 minutes out of him, you would think it'd be Sami Zayn. Hell, this man had a damn WrestleMania match with Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, it was
Right.
a typical wrestling match, but Sami Zayn was the
Made it.
magic. Yeah.
And didn't have a problem doing
it. Right.
And that, he was the best man for the job to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, I'm all about having a heel Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I think they need to, I guess what they're saying, they're just gonna go ahead and stamp it.
Right.
So
right.
We'll see what happens if it does make sense to, if you do that Sammy cheats and ends up back with the title and then the chase starts or whatever. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't think we really need to give a prediction on this one and just kind of follow the story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, but these last two is going to be about, you probably put both of them together about 45 minutes of beat down, hard hitting, violent, real personal wrestling matches. You understand what I'm saying? With Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. And, watching what happened tonight and Braun keep catching him and really, really getting that shit talking down in his promos, and just a super duper athlete that he is against the revolutionary, the visionary, one of the best to do it right now and been doing it with Seth Rollins. We talked about the other day, if none of these guys get hurt, what does it look like for the Vision right now? Would you even have a Logan Paul? Would you have kept just them three together? No Austin Theory. Just them three. And I mean, they storming through everybody. But I think both of these last two are going to be bangers. I'm looking forward to both of them. Hell, I'm looking forward to the whole card.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So just give me your thoughts and feelings about the last two matches.
Well, you definitely brawler.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Well, obviously the Braun Breaker Seth feud, you would think that this is just the beginning, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that being said, I don't think Seth's gonna win the match. I think that Braun. I mean, I don't think a loss will hurt neither one of them.
Yeah.
Because we know it's gonna be shenanigans or something, or we know it's gonna go forward. But I think that Braun would benefit more with a win. Seth is a made man, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Seth is a made man. So yeah, he just lost to Gunther, but he lost to Gunther because of Braun.
Right.
And I feel like Seth would probably lose this one because of the vision some kind of way.
Right.
And to continue the story, where it's like, okay, he's gonna
What if Gunther cost him the match, and then you got two people going after him from whole separate entities? You got the whole vision after, and then you got Gunther always coming around and messing with him while he focuses on other people. That would be cool as hell.
Yeah, that would be cool. But which you never know what they would do. But Gunther now doing this thing with Cody.
Right.
Over there. But that would be cool though. It's not that they can't do that. I think that would be cool. He could be like, oh, everybody got to watch their back. He gonna choke me out,
Right. Putting everybody on notice.
Right.
Both shows.
Right.
Yeah. Because you want him to make you want him to be the killer that he is. You know what I'm saying? That would be cool as hell to me.
Yeah.
You have to watch your back when Gunther come around, because any contender or any champ or belt he don't have, he's going after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That would be cool as hell, but too bad we're not in charge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man, I don't think Seth is gonna win anyway. And this is wrestling, and unless it's AEW, which I don't even think they do that anymore, they never call out the wins and loss record before the match. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So Ric Flair might have 2,000 losses, and you know what I'm saying, or 2,000 wins and 19,000 losses and 88,000 disqualifications.
Right.
Wrestle Steamboat 15,000 times, man.
Had Dusty Rhodes finish half of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Technicality. He beat me, but he didn't win the title.
Right. Yep. And still world's heavyweight champion. All right, man. Let's talk and wrap it up and talk Jacob and Roman Reigns. Last week, when that man brought that tongue and death grip out, that was cool. And then they stamped it this week when they started talking about it at the contract signing.
Right.
You don't do that to family. You know what I'm saying? He was like, this ain't the bar at 3:00 in the morning. And he was like, that's when you pull it out, when 10 guys are
8 on 1. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You don't do it to your cousin. You know what I mean? But when Roman Reigns said, you're beneath me, Jacob lost it. And I loved it how Roman kept fighting it off, but then, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere, he'd get it right back in there. And man, shout out to Haku, man. That's the first thing I thought about. You know what I'm saying? When he used to do it with that, be shaking his head with all that hair on there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here's my dilemma about this match. No doubt do I think they're going to kill it. Any one of these matches can really steal the show. Any one of these matches on the card could steal the show.
Right.
In a major way. So Roman has been written off TV for the next month and a half, maybe longer.
Right. He's not advertised in June and all of that.
Right. And doesn't look like it's going to stop there. So we're not going to get Roman Reigns all summer.
Right.
So is it something where they put him out of action, like he really hurts him, and Jacob wins the title, and then Roman comes back? Did something come up where he's got to go do something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on, man. But they've done it with Roman before with not defending the title for this amount of time and stuff like that. But I don't see them doing that right now. And not with Netflix and not having a title on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have the champ on there. You know what I mean? You can't be the champ and not be there.
Well, here's the thing, right? With that,
Mhm.
so they had Backlash this week. They have a Saturday night's main event this month, and they had Clash, what they call it, Clash in Paris or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's when he going on his hiatus. So maybe something happens, a technicality, or the Usos may get involved solo, and then Roman leaves with the belt, with the title, and then they have a rematch at Clash at Paris or wherever it's called, and maybe he loses the title there. Don't know, but it makes you wonder though, because I heard the same thing that
Right.
he was advertised. Now he's not advertised for after May.
Yeah.
So again, to your point, like, so what are they gonna do with the title? Because I tell you something that was interesting tonight though on Raw. I don't know if you saw this. You didn't see the beginning of Raw, did you?
I saw You're in My Way.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. When Roman was going to the he jumped out the truck, got the belt, put
He
it
was in
over his
Gorilla.
headed the
He,
gorilla, Adam Pearce thought,
Jacob's
Jacob's,
not here.
yeah. And then
Then he turned.
yeah, yeah.
I like how they still
Let me
plant seeds with
yeah,
because they have unfinished business, and it will always be issues between them two. And I
mhm.
like how they, even though we currently not feuding, but they remind you that hey, these guys have still have bad blood that needs to be handled.
Before we cut this out, can we play fantasy booking for 1 second?
Go ahead.
Jacob and Roman beat the shit out of each other. And then at the end of the match, you got the MFTs on one side of the ring, you got the Usos on the other. You know what I'm saying? And then they all somehow or another they cause Roman the match. You know what I'm saying? Or Jacob gets a quick pin or something happens. And then they all jump in, stare each other down, and then they all jump on Roman
Oh man.
and put the Uwafile on Jacob. He's the champ and the tribal chief. And the only one that come to help out Roman, Seth Rollins. Not saying that he would come out there at that time, but while Roman's gone and maybe come back like a month later, like I say, he's not supposed to be there only, after May, and then do this, and that's the only person that he got to go to. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, and you gotta also think. I mean, I like that, but of course, right now the Bloodlines had this Civil War thing going on, but it's almost like there's three sides. But even
Yeah.
though Jacob really currently don't have no partners in the game, it is like he's in the middle, and he
Yeah.
got beef with Solo and MFTs, and then of course you got beef with the Usos and Roman.
Right.
Now the one ally that Jacob does have, which we learned on SmackDown last week, was Royce Keys.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that for no reason.
Right.
That's gonna come into play too, because he gonna need an ally, look like, and because that Talatunga and Solo, like they attacked them when Jacob and Royce Keys had a bad. Royce was
Right.
talking about how they used to ride up down the road together, and
Honda Civic
you
or
know,
something.
and he was like, you know, did you from the street, you know, and you know, they kind of had their little dialogue, and then boom, here comes Talatunga.
Yeah.
And but that was like our first time seeing Royce Keys be put in any type of
In the
storyline.
in this segment, really.
Yeah, and it's like, but that's right, that's straight to the top.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that because they didn't do that. I don't see them doing that. Just kind of like, oh, whatever happened with the Royce Keys situation.
Yeah.
That's gonna be his ally,
Yeah.
some kind of way.
But
So
shit, he could really, you know, be confronting him like, what happened, this, and this. And, you know, he's, you know, Jacob get too big for his britches. You know what I'm saying? Like, he the tribal chief, and then they start beefing and work each other.
yeah,
You know anything can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we'll see. But yeah, man, it's a good card. You know, and the main event's gonna be it. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna check it out, and then we'll be back next week and talk about what happened and talk about anything else going on in wrestling.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully POT be back next week.
We hope so, man. Because if hey man, the gas is getting expensive. If they holding POT ransom, bro, we're gonna have a hard time getting him back. Gas is high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but you know, El Potito got you. You know,
Hey, that's
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat me some, you know, Taco Tuesday and all that. You know, probably eat me up some tacos and nachos and shit. You know what I mean? Watch a little triple A.
But you eat that on a regular basis, don't you? So it's nothing new.
Well, El Potito does, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking to. Yeah. And you can come back on anytime. Plus, you might get the viewership up. You're way better to look at than POT is. So.
Well, you know, I just sometimes I just felt like I just needed to make an appearance. You know, my second one. You know, 72 episodes. You know, I mean, I'll return one day soon. Just don't know when. Don't know when. You know.
All right. Well, be careful on the way back to Mexico. Know you're gonna be wrestling in Tijuana on Sunday night.
Yeah, you know. Absolutely.
But hey, I'm Big E, that's El Potito, and this is Welcome to Wrasslin', and we'll see y'all next week.
Welcome to Wrasslin'.
Welcome to Wrasslin', Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin' with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash. Straight to the face, I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me.